So, a disclaimer before we begin. This is my opinion, just like anything else not confirmed by Sony or Naughty Dog. I'd say it's an educated guess, but you be the judge of that yourself. I don't intend to attack anyone or their theories/beliefs, though I do respectfully disagree with them. Hey stragglers and tourists, my name is TheiPadCat, and in today's video I will be going over why I don't buy the Stanley Parable confirmed Part 2's release date theory at all. So let's not waste any more time.
Let's get on with it.
So what's all this fuzz about? Well, after Naughty Dog's statement of there being no The Last of Us Part 2 at the Game Awards, it showed up anyways. Well, kinda. The 2013 game or mod, whatever you want to call it, Stanley Parable had its sort of sequel announced with a pretty funny trailer at the Game Awards 2018. Well, in that trailer, the developers, through the narrator, are joking around that they were the biggest video game sensation of that year and got so many awards. But then they showed who actually got those awards, which was another 2013 game. Can you guess which? That's right, The Last of Us. Now, the whole joke here is that they're implying that The Last of Us stole all the awards that rightfully should have gone to the Stanley Parable. But now they're going to do this great new version with so much more content and even put it on consoles. And yes, they're going to win all the awards this time. But now there is another The Last of Us game on the way and they'll have to compete against it another time. So, the narrator's ideas and effort will be for nothing. So he says, in disbelief,
What do you mean The Last of Us 2 is also coming out next year?
Now, I've seen a lot of people take this as confirmation we'll get The Last of Us Part 2 in 2019. And don't get me wrong, that is a possibility. My personal release date prediction is still late 2019 to early 2020. But this is not a confirmation. There are a number of reasons why that is, but let's start with that it's a joke. If you didn't get that from my explanation just now, it's referring to The Last of Us Part 1 snatching all the awards that might have gone to the original Stanley Parable back in 2013. And now, when it's finally their new moment to shine, to triumph, another The Last of Us comes along and will most likely take the spotlight away for a second time. But maybe that isn't enough. Maybe Naughty Dog snuck it in there because, well, they usually deceive and lie to their fans in their marketing, right? While that is true, this is not how they do it. They don't tell a lie literally a few days before revealing their true colors. The lies and deceptions they tell are to divert our attention and speculation away from integral story elements. It's to keep the integrity of the final story and thus not ruin their number one selling point, which is the story. Not to simply subvert fans' expectations a few days before an event to then give them a pleasant surprise. But okay, maybe they've changed their ways. Maybe they've come up with new ways to engage their audience, just like Sony said in their statement on pulling out of E3. But unfortunately that is not the case either. The Stanley Parable started out as a Half-Life 2 mod in 2011, made by just one guy called David Reeden. The 2013 remake that is referred to in the new trailer was developed by the same guy and another one called William Pugg in their own little two-man studio called Galactic Cafe, which also published the game. This sort of sequel, or whatever it is being developed and published by Reeden's new studio called Crows, with Pugg assisting once again. And that's it. These guys are not affiliated with Sony in any other way than that their new game will be coming to their platform. This is an indie company, making a game by themselves and publishing it by themselves. why they would have insider information that they are also allowed to share of when arguably Sony's biggest upcoming exclusive would be launching, I can't say. But hey, you be the judge. Also, with the outrage culture being so common in games nowadays, the statement of there being no info at the Game Awards on Part 2 is way more definitive. 2 years had passed since, again, Sony's arguably most anticipated exclusive was revealed, so naturally they wanted to celebrate and bring some attention to that. But they didn't really think it through, because the hype started going crazy, and people were taking it as confirmation that there would be something new at the Game Awards. So as to not get any backlash similar to that when The Last of Us Part 2 did not appear at E3 2017, while everything seemed to be pointing toward that, they acted to dampen the blow of there being nothing there. Also, many people were expecting release date reveals for some of Sony's other exclusives during the Game Awards, like the Ghosts of Tsushima and Death Stranding. There were even rumors going around for that before TGA, unlike for Part 2. But that didn't happen either. So why would they randomly reveal it for Part 2 through a third party that has nothing to do with them? On top of that, let's just take a look at a few other issues that make a release date reveal right now pretty weird. There is no way to pre-order this game officially, i.e. from Sony themselves on the PS Store. No editions of the game have been revealed, which is something practically every other Naughty Dog game has had before. The multiplayer has not been revealed yet, and if Uncharted 4 is anything to go by, we'll probably get a beta quite a while before release. So why haven't we heard anything about that yet? Or why has the second main character of the franchise only said one line in 2 years and not had a proper reveal? These are all things that need to still be revealed before release. And if you think about the intervals between previous trailers, does it make sense to reveal a release date now, indicating that the game is close to release? It's been one trailer per year thus far. And of course that will ramp up as we get closer to release, but this is in the wrong order. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound so harsh, but this is called confirmation bias. I get it. We're all tired of waiting. It's getting infuriating. So when we see something we want to believe in, or do believe in, we believe it, despite there being so much else pointing the other way. Yes, there is that one soundtrack video from some obscure PlayStation account which says The Last of Us Part 2 and then 2019 within brackets in the description. And yes, some retailers have release dates on their sites, but those are either mistakes in the case of the PlayStation video or placeholder dates. Look, if we're just gonna go and take random dates from big companies as confirmation, then why isn't the game already out? YouTube Gaming had The Last of Us Part 2 listed as a 2018 game for the longest time. So where is it then? The only ones that can announce the real release date, and I'm not saying it won't be 2019, that is very possible, are Sony and Naughty Dog. And when they do, you will know. They won't do it in some random video description on YouTube for you to look after. They'll do it with a bang that everyone can see and get hyped over in a trailer or something similar. Look, I know, the waiting game is getting frustrating. I feel it so much, both in the personal hype department, but also since there's never anything for me to do videos on. But please, don't take random things like these as confirmation and spread them. Because the only thing it does is set us all up for disappointment. And I think we've all had enough of that, haven't we? The game was announced way too prematurely and now we're feeling the effects of that. But that's a whole other discussion, I'm afraid. Anyways, that is my take on this whole Stanley Parable thing. Do you think that the trailer is official confirmation that Part 2 will be releasing during 2019? Answer the poll up there in the top right corner. And if you want to discuss this further or anything else, The Last of Us related or not, with me and other like-minded people, why not join the TheiPadCat Discord server? And if you want reliable notifications whenever I upload, or the occasional badly put together tweet from me, why not follow me on Twitter as well? Those links are in the description, and until next time, have a great day.